must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
So really, we just want to assure all Kenyans that we are working very hard as a ministry, as a government, as a health sector, as a country, a whole government approach to addressing the challenge that is currently facing us of coronavirus. And the team that we have been meeting with this evening has been a team of experts, some health workers, experts in communication, experts in social media, all looking at how we work together to make sure that, number one, Kenyans are aware, they are well sensitized about what we are dealing with, that we all also learn what precautionary measures we need to take to ensure that we can prevent ourselves from getting coronavirus, and also to ensure that we protect our families. The team of experts here has been doing a lot of work in terms of their own practice, the clinical practice, the protocols around coronavirus. This is a new virus that the medics have never dealt with, that the entire health workers have not dealt with. Feel that you're very ill to go into a matatu, to go to hospital, we really recommend that you call the 719 line and get us to come and pick you through an ambulance which has got specialized facilities and with health workers to take you to an isolation facility where you can be tested. So basically, we are just aligning our coordination and making sure that we have a seamless operation even as we deal with coronavirus. And I just want to thank the entire team, the entire fraternity in communication world, social media world, our experts in health, for their for their commitment and self-sacrifice. We've been sitting here up to very late hours in the night, days on end, and people are here really just volunteering themselves to serve this nation. So my deep appreciation, and to all of us, please keep us hooked up to our conversations, be kept in the loop through #ComeshaCorona. Thank you very much.
For the last 24 hours, we have tested over 300 Kenyans. Out of those, 22 have been tested as positive. This is the largest number that we have received in a single day. It is also commensurate with the fact that it is the largest number that we have tested also in a single day. Out of those 22, 13 are male and 9 are females. Let me also add that 21 out of the 22 cases are people who are currently in quarantine. And that tells you the importance of the exercise that we have been carrying out. And that it is lucky that we have found the 21 people in quarantine, because by now the 21 would also have passed the on to other people. There are 18 Kenyans, 2 Pakistanis, and 2 people from Cameroon, 2 Cameroon nationals. I would like to state very, very clearly that the disease is spreading widely in our society. Having said that, I think a lot of you witnessed that today we also had good news, because case number 1, the first person who the president announced as having tested positive, Brenda Ivy Cherotich, today His Excellency the President also announced that Brenda had turned negative on 2 tests. At the same time, His Excellency also announced that Brian Orinda, who had contacted the disease from Brenda, is also negative. And these people have been tested twice just to prove, and twice over a period of time, not just twice on the same day. So we are pleased. We are very, very, very pleased that this is the circumstance of the day. We have had sufficient support from the international community. The government itself has put in its own money, and we continue to get support from various quarters. Only yesterday, the World Bank was approving a line today. Is it today the 2nd of April? Tomorrow they are approving a line of credit of another $50 million. So it is not that we have ran out of money for this purpose. The problem globally is shortage of materials, not really money. At the moment, the world over, the problem is shortage of material. The global shortage of PPEs has also been a problem for us. But I am also glad to say that probably by end of day tomorrow, we are also going to start manufacturing PPEs here in Kenya.
All the patients are doing well, except one who is in the critical care unit at the Aga Khan University Hospital. But his condition is also improving. Indeed, in the next 2, 3, 4 days, we should also be able to come back to you to announce that potentially there's another patient who could be declared as having been cured of COVID-19. So all the patients are doing well. It's only one who is in ICU on ventilatory support, but is responding very well indeed to treatment. And we are in constant touch with our colleagues at Aga Khan Hospital to monitor his progress as he undergoes his treatment. The treatment we offer as clinicians is basically supportive treatment. Supportive means we respond to the symptoms that you exhibit as we take care of you. Like if you have a fever, we give you something to bring down your fever. If you are coughing, we give you something to suppress the cough. However, there are very many trials that are being undertaken as we speak. And the most quoted is, of course, the use of hydrochloroquine and an antibiotic called azithromycin, which is locally available. So all those medicines are at our disposal to be able to deploy for cases which require them. For example, the current patient who is admitted in ICU in Aga Khan is actually on chloroquine and azithromycin and is making good progress. But because this is just a single statistic, we cannot be able to say that chloroquine and azithromycin works for COVID-19. We require a bigger sample size so that it can be statistically significant for us to say this treatment works for COVID-19 and this one does not work. Thank you.
COVID-19, what happens to the
Of the media, it is a pleasure to be with you in this virtual stakeout. I know one of the UN correspondents has been hit by the epidemic. My thoughts are with all of you in this difficult moment we are all facing. We are facing a global health crisis, unlike any in 75-year history of the United Nations, one that is spreading human suffering, infecting the global economy, and upending people's lives. A global recession, perhaps of record dimensions, is a near certainty. The International Labour Organization has just reported that workers around the world could lose as much as $3.4 trillion in income by the end of this year. This is, above all, a human crisis that calls for solidarity. Our human family is stressed and the social fabric is being torn. People are suffering, sick and scared. And current responses at the country level will not address the global scale and complexity of the crisis. This is a moment that demands coordinated, decisive and innovative policy action from the world's leading economies. We must recognize that the poorest and most vulnerable, especially women, will be the hardest hit. I welcome the decision by G20 leaders to convene an emergency summit next week to respond to the epic challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic, and I look forward to taking part. My central message is clear. We are in an unprecedented situation, and the normal rules no longer apply. We cannot resort to the usual tools in such unusual times. The creativity of the response must match the unique nature of the crisis, and the magnitude of the response must match its scale. Our world faces a common enemy. We are at war with a virus. COVID-19 is killing people as well as attacking the real economy at its core: trade, supply chains, businesses, jobs. Entire countries and cities are in lockdown, borders are closing, companies are struggling to stay in business, and families are simply struggling to stay afloat. But in managing this crisis, we also have a unique opportunity. Done right, we can steer the recovery towards a more sustainable and inclusive path. But poorly coordinated policies risk locking in or even worsening already unsustainable inequalities, reversing hard-won development gains and poverty reduction. I call on world leaders to come together and offer an urgent and coordinated response to this global crisis. I see three critical areas for action. First, tackling the health emergency. Many countries have exceeded the capacity to care for even mild cases in dedicated health facilities, with many unable to respond to the enormous needs of the elderly. Even in the wealthiest countries, we see health systems buckling under pressure. Health spending must be scaled up right away to meet urgent needs and the surge in demand, expanding testing, bolstering facilities, supporting healthcare workers, and ensuring adequate supplies with full respect for human rights and without stigma. It has been proven that the virus can be contained. It must be contained. If we let the virus spread like wildfire, especially in the most vulnerable regions of the world, it would kill millions of people. As we need to immediately move away from a situation where each country is undertaking its own health strategies to one that ensures in full transparency a coordinated global response, including helping countries that are less prepared to tackle the crisis. Governments must give the strongest support.
Healthcare workers, your safety must be a priority. You have to take care of yourself well. You have to be in the adequate PPE. For instance, when you are at triage, you have to put on your basic apron. You have to put on your gloves. And then if you suspect influenza-like illness, then you'll have to put on your mask. You'll have to ensure that you dress yourself properly before you continue with the patient.
Good afternoon, viewers. We are sorry we are late by 30 minutes of this show, Kenya Today. This show is going to be conducted live from the studios miles away with our beautiful friend Miriam Ogutu. I am on the political command center away from the headquarters, miles away from the headquarters, and I will lead from this side. The show today is very simple. We are looking at the mindset, the negative mindset of some Kenyan MPs, some Kenyan leaders who are uttering statements. We are not going to keep quiet to tell a spade a spoon. Moses Kuria is one of the most interesting characters in Kenyan political history. Moses Kuria brought witnesses to fix William Ruto. Moses Kuria became a conduit of international mercantile capitalism, of creating confusion, dismembering of Jubilee Party, living on handouts from William Ruto to go and dismember President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. We are therefore not shocked when Moses speaks on Brenda and Brian press conference where the president just received the patients to encourage Kenyans, for them to tell Kenyans that they are all healing, and the healing is there if you come out and say you have the disease. The statement and the video links that showed the two patients speaking to the president were beamed across the world. What Moses Kuria has said this morning on his Twitter handle and his Facebook is something that is equivalent to a pothole of insanity, a pothole of manufacturing fakeness, a pothole suffering from the hunger of handouts, which they always receive. Remember, ladies and gentlemen and the viewers, you know Moses has been receiving handouts from the Deputy President's office to go and insult the president. Kenyans have been watching. But for us, friends of the president, some of us who do voluntary work will not watch it anymore. It is because of the COVID-19 that we have kept quiet, Mr. Moses. But this time, you came to disrupt the BBI. The rallies, they gave you a small treatment. Since you arrived from George Soros' camp in the United States, we followed all hotel bills, what you paid, who was paying your hotel bills in the United States of America. We have records of how your hotel bills were paid and who was paying and whom you are communicating with. We are aware of a design by regime change mechanism that you are indoctrinated in. Because when you touch Uhuru Kenyatta, you touch some of us. He might not speak, but some of us will speak. What will you do, you Moses Kuria? You actually, a few years ago, you were begging lunch from me. Beg lunch, buy me lunch. Today, you are insulting everybody in the world. You can threaten those Kenyans, but not some of us. But let me now come to the point and tell you, follow your story very carefully. And I'm now going to tell the world, you brought witnesses to fix William Ruto. You came on national television and said, oh, I bought witnesses for 2,000 shillings to fix William Ruto. Are you not ashamed to be working with the same William Ruto that you wanted to fix? Is the same William Ruto not ashamed of sending you to write statements, to bankroll you, to pay you for air travel, hire you helicopters to go around the country to dismember this country? It is a shame of a very bad mindset. And I recorded this, Moses Kuria, because you don't threaten me. I might not be a Kenyan, but I'm not threatened easily. And I tell you that for sure. That Moses, the behavior has become unbecoming. You're a friend of us. We have even paid for you bail to get out of prison. You have never even returned that money. You have never even sent it back to us. Some of us got it through our sweat, not through handouts lining at the Deputy President's office. You have attacked. This is a time when politics is suspended. You have gone on record writing, comparing Bishop Owori. Why are you concentrating on Brenda and not the boy? What is the story? What is it that you want to do? It's simple regime change. We are aware of what George Soros gave you and what instructions you got. We are aware who paid for your holiday in California. There are so many things that we want to say, but we can't say it for the matter of time to warn you that as much as you attack the president, we are also watching. And some of this inch by inch, soil by soil, water by water, we shall release it to the public. We don't live on handouts. You're a grown-up man. You have bought a house now out of the corruption that has taken place. You used to live, at times your rent was paid by some of us. But the type of garbage that you distort, you write, will force us to reveal quite a lot of things. The mindset in Kenya, Miriam, brings me to Facebook accounts, fake, that were bought, paid for. How can a whole MP reduce himself to a Twitter handler of mercantile confusion of merchant violence? The same man you wanted to detain in the ICC, the same man whom you bought witnesses with Maina Kiai, you went around Eldoret buying witnesses to testify against. Let him hear also today that as much as there is forgiveness, we have not forgotten the role you played. You and the Macau Mutu and the rest, you were the same category. No wonder Martha Karua is telling you, some of you go slow. You wrote statements about Martha Karua. You did damage the people's reputation. Touch them of us, and you will see how you will not travel anywhere. But we are just telling you. I was ashamed one day when I went with you to the ICC, and the deputy president came to greet me as if I had a leprosy. I did not know that you are the one who had fixed the deputy president. I did not know. Had I known, I would have even told the aircraft to stop, and I jump out. I'm very disappointed with you, Moses. Respect the president. President Uhuru Kenyatta is not your kid. If you have difficulties with him, you are his MP. Why don't you behave with decorum? Why don't you give that respect as President of the Republic of Kenya? Why do you dismember him, belittle him, write statements? This is your country. Some of us, this is not our country. I don't like a house where to go, Moses. I never stole money to build that house. I bought it in cash in 1998 when you are still in Dubai or Iran. I don't know whether you are training as a terrorist, because you might have been one of those training in Iran. I've never seen a person who studied in Iran. You are the one of the few people I've seen here. So, let's tell you also, we have a lot, a package. And then you'll see what we are going to write also. But please respect the president. This is a time, if the president is not speaking, some of us are friends, we don't get payment from him, but we feel angered. He's a very good guy for this Africa. That's why we defend him. And we would like to tell you, Moses, that you are not the only one who knows propaganda. We shall play propaganda. You have now lacked money to service those concubines that you have filed around this country in Nairobi. That's why you are writing statements in order to be paid, and they're going to pay their rents. By the way, COVID-19 has removed the rent payments. So don't worry, they can sleep for free. Now I'm giving you something. Slowly, you can see how we have been following you. But we are just saying to you, this is the time for people to put their heads together, to unite and save the people. Humanity must be saved. Don't destroy more. Let's listen to the guidelines. Help the government. Statements of Moses Kuria are stupid statements of malcontents whose toxins must be denounced by Kenya. You can have differences. I'm a Ugandan and we are Ugandans. We have differences, but today political parties in Uganda, we agree. lock us down. Everybody, even Bob Wine, even Kizza Besigye. We have agreed to lock down. We are not talking about Museveni. We don't like President Museveni, not all of us. We don't, but when it comes to a national crisis like it, we like the way he has handled it. Why don't you give your president courage? Encourage him to find solutions. If you have solutions, write to the president, write to Kagwe, write to any committee. The government might not answer you. The spokesman of the president might not answer you. She might fear you. But some of us don't fear you because we have ever paid lunch for you. We have ever paid rent for you. We have ever bailed you out of jail, Mr. Moses. When you had no money, you crying, nobody was bailing you out. Some of us paid money. You have never paid us. And then you go around here posing with suits and the bodyguards. Pay us. Pay back our money. And then we can respect you. The money you get from Ruto, pay us something. Back our money we paid on bill number. Safaricom bill number for you to get out of prison. Time has come for you to be told the truth. People are traumatized. Then you continue traumatizing the president. Allow him to work. The spokeswomen and the men, they fear you. They don't fear you. What can you do? You. Nothing. You will never come. I will not come to beg you for lunch. You begged me for lunch. I was buying lunch for you from 2004. You, Mutata, and the rest of you. You have never employed me. I have never employed you. So what type of people are you? Don't think that people cannot also touch you. We know the plan. If the intelligence doesn't know the plan, we know it. We followed you and the George Soros meetings in Washington and New York. We know them. We know the Open Society Foundation people you are flirting with. You want to create a social upheaval in Kenya. That's why you go to BBI meetings, disrupt them, bring them down in order to cause a mishap. We know. Does it not occur to you, Moses, and others who get these handouts every day, that you are the only person, your own man is the president of the Republic of Kenya, your constituent, whom you insult every day, whom you belittle every day, Moses. Your own constituent is the president. Why can't you have pride and walk high? Because the president of the country called Kenya is your constituent. I'm older than you, Moses. You will not be intimidating me. I might be like I am. My children are bigger than your children. But I respect people. Even Ruto, I respect him. Because he's a deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. Despite the fact that I suffered with the cold to stand out of ICC to remove him. He has never come to say hi. But time tells, time heals. I've healed. But for you to come and harass the president, some of us are not going to keep quiet. Even if it means leaving the country, we shall leave. But we shall not sleep on cardboards. We have not sold our houses, even one brick, in a state where you can only come by visa. So now get it, Mr. Moses, that we are very upset. And that's how some of us are upset when you insult Kenyatta every day, every day. President Kenyatta every day. He's from your constituency. Why can't you be proud? Younger man Moses, be proud. Don't be overtaken to get handouts. Be proud. What patriotism are you talking about? What patriotism? Do you have any? The only thing you beat some of us is to be a refugee. I am not a refugee anymore. I have a state. There are several states in Africa that can give me asylum. If I wanted asylum, I could have almost 25 passports if I wanted. But because I respect, I'm not fraudulent. Would you mind apologizing, returning this type of statements? Don't be driven by cheap money of handouts, helicopter hires, driven by you are an educated guy with a master's degree, several of them, from the University of Sijui, Cairo, Iran, Tehran. I've never had people who studied in Tehran, but I saw your CV, very good. And you tell me yourself and your greed and the corruption and this rumor mongering. You went and peddled things about Nancy Gitau and so on. You told so many lies. You caused the hatred. Today I feel like tearing everything out to Kenyans. You have caused a lot of division. Part of the division that is coming in the presidency is you. Because of money. You want money. You pick money from here, then you go and pick money there, then you pick money. You even go around with the same people. Like that Murkomen, who has 42 pages that he wrote about William Ruto in the ICC. If he says it doesn't right, I will publish them. I have them. I have them. Let him say now, and I publish. Matanga doesn't talk without facts. So here, Kenyans, the mindset, negative mindset. The other day, the MP tried to create chaos. All of these are George Soros. By the way, Kenyans, if you don't know, a regime change comes with those type of people. There is another MP who wins an election without being voted. He's also George Soros attached. Look at his operations. I've studied everything. I have the data like this. Let him ever point a finger at me. I will produce the data and he will run out of parliament. We know who funds those projects. And we have been keeping quiet. But you have crossed the Rubicon of attacking the president. I want to thank you very much. This show is ended. Because I am upset. But because Miriam is the one handling it, over to you, Miriam. I'm really very upset, angered by President Uhuru Kenyatta lacking somebody to stand up to defend him from a malcontent who received the handouts to come every day to harass, to molest the president, to molest Kabwe, to molest every government institution that is doing something. The other time they were molesting the DCI, DPP. You know, at night, he picks information from there. You find him at night revealing it from here. What type of man are you, Moses? What type of man are you? Double dealing with information. You are creating a confusion in this country. Let Ruto also hear this today about you. Stop peddling information. Enough is enough. You have peddled information. You have injured so many families. You have created hatred for other people who should not have hatred. You have brought the Jubilee government to its knees by the peddling of your information, which is wrong for the purpose of having your stomach. Take it from me. My gloves are off. There are no planes, otherwise I would leave today. Because I have where to go. But I will never undermine President Uhuru Kenyatta. I will stand for him, whether here or outside there. As long as I'm alive, you will not touch Uhuru Kenyatta and walk free. I'm not a Kenyan. I'm a friend. And I don't get payment from him. I've never gone there to see payment like you go to get payments every time. With your records, well known, we know how much they pay. So bring it on. We shall finish it. We have had enough of your garbage, insulting the president every time. Who are you? You are just a small boy of 50 years. Who are you? What have you seen that others, some of us have seen more? The worst is the coronavirus. In my 60 over years of staying in the world, in this world, this is the first time I've seen this. So while we are solving, helping the president to give the government solutions, you are bringing very irrelevant. What is the use? Miriam, explain to me, what is it that Brenda and Brian said, which is not being said by other televisions and other people in other countries? Over to you, Miriam.
All right, a very good afternoon there. Our viewers across the world, of course, if you're wondering who this Brenda and Brian is, Brenda is the first patient here who tested positive for coronavirus, and then, Brian too was patient too. So yesterday, through the Ministry of Health, they recovered, and so they had a press conference there with President Uhuru Kenyatta, who also spoke with them, but of course through a teleconference there. And so it was a good news to the country, because brought a lot of ray of hope, because even at this time people are so worried. So it was good to know that they're doing well, and the first patient that was tested positive in this country actually recovered. So that is where we are, in case you're wondering who is this Brian and Brenda. So that is where we are today. And of course, that press conference has attracted a lot of mixed reactions, and you can see Doctor there reacting to some of that. So that is where we are. I don't know, do I just continue with the...
Miriam,
yes.
Your reactions. You heard the statement. You have read the statement that Moses Kuria wrote. Mm-hmm. Is that a statement of a statesman?
Doctor, the things I don't take very seriously, so I don't even get into, I don't even work myself up. Certain things, Moses Kuria writes whatever he wants, I just move. The things I read and the things I don't even pay attention to, so I don't even have a reaction to that.
Okay, let me bring it for you, that he took to the Facebook and said the government did not perform well while addressing the issue of COVID-19 recovery patients. He said, from a communication point of view, the government of Kenya performed badly on COVID-19 yesterday, because they put the patients on television for them to take the testimony. So that one, you can't say it doesn't bother you. Mm-hmm. We are one of the recipients of that television yesterday. So if someone doubts what the president said and what the patients said, when these patients were with the doctor, and the doctors also came there, and they are here, and the nurses are there, it means you are discouraging people from accepting that there is no medicine. That's one.
It's Moses Kuria.
Yes.
It's if it came from who? Moses Kuria, it's a lot of.
And he went further, Miriam. He said, "Forget the prophet or healing press conference for the Brenda and the Brian initiative. Do not be fooled." Kuria claimed that the numbers will only continue to increase, giving an example of the prediction made by Trump that the pandemic will be claiming 100,000 people. Fine. But you have seen, you heard this morning from the lady in the United States. She's not in a low grade of us civilian. Miriam, that lady works in the State Department, former employee of the State Department. I know her as a friend. We have done on projects with her. And she said, we erred, we goofed. Kenya has not goofed yet. Kenya restricted people from getting out of the quarantine. And that is how they are solving this problem. Jermaine, let's go slowly. Let's be honest to this nation. Other countries have locked down. Nobody is even talking. Not even a rat. It's only rats and some dogs running in the streets in Japan. People are locked and gone. London is locked. It's a developed country. It's locked down. My own family is in the house. In the house, eating what they have in the house. When you want to come out, police has to ask you where you are going. And then you must go towards the shop. And the show you are going to the shop, not anywhere else. Some of these things are there. So if you go on making such statements, the government might be forced to say, well, be discouraged. The doctors who operated on these people get discouraged. These are the disadvantages. These are the disadvantages. But however, on a lighter, another note, for us, let's continue to preach our gospel. Let's talk to the people, Matatu and the business dilemma. There you are, Miriam.
Yeah, so Matatu.
You still have time. Another 30 minutes. Let's push and finish.
Yes, so anyway, the Matatu and business dilemma. So the government has been telling the Matatu associations to invest themselves to ensure their business model is sustained by implementing measures stipulated to protect passengers. However, among many drivers and Matatu touts there are many who are not yet taking precautions. Some Matatu staffers in some Nairobi Matatu terminals are not wearing face masks, which is something that I have noted personally, and I worry for them. Fine, they give the sanitizers, and now you have to wash your hands before you get into a public service vehicle. For those who are watching us and you don't understand what a Matatu is, these are public service vehicles, and sometimes they're big buses, sometimes there's the smaller ones. And right now, the government has put in measures where you cannot carry a full board. You have to have, because some passengers are expected to sit by themselves in a seat of two, just one person. Like that. And so others are taking these measures. They've seen when you go to the terminus in the morning, they've insisted you have to wash your hands or you sanitize before you get into the vehicle, but they are not wearing the mask. So these people are actually at high risk of contracting this illness, as much as the sanitize, as much as the hygiene has been taken care of. But they're forgetting they're supposed to protect themselves, because later on, after you're in, they'll come and they'll get the fare from you. So if at all he had and he sneezed perhaps close to you, there's a possibility that you can get that, because then they get to deal with so many people during the day. So the Ministry of Health has noted that they're not wearing face masks, and people in the public service, even yesterday doctors were here talking, because one of the patients now who have been tested positive for the coronavirus is the nurse from a government institution, from a clinic here in Nairobi. And I'm just wondering, why is it that right now even our health officials are agreeing to work and see doctors and they're not protected? Because out of that nurse, how many Kenyans actually contracted that illness from them? So
we have a caller, Miriam. Caller, we are live on national television, our Frontline television station. The caller seemed to have gone away.
Yes.
So that is it. And then Matatu, you are saying Matatu?
So as I was saying earlier, so everybody in the public service, even you go to the supermarkets, they're not wearing masks. I don't understand why. Everybody in the public service right now, even our police officers manning these roads, they don't have gloves, they don't have masks, and they are highly exposed, and they get to interact with other Kenyans. So everybody in the public service right now, be it police, be it supermarket attendants, be it the nurses and the doctors, anybody who has to still serve the public, because these are very essential services, must ensure they are protected. So in case anybody comes there and perhaps has this virus, that they are protected. And in case they have been given, so if they're protected, they're not able to pass it, because they get to serve so many Kenyans. And I don't know what is happening elsewhere in Africa or in the world, but I'm sure it is high time perhaps the government came in very strongly on these people who are still serving the public to ensure that they protect themselves. So even if somebody walks in there and they're not, even if you sanitize, but your mouth is still not covered, your nose is still not covered, your face is still not covered, so that still you still stand a risk as much as you've given me the sanitizer and I've come there. If I have the illness and I come there and I'm paying even through the card, I'm not even having I'm having a cashless transaction, but that card, if you know I sneeze even close to you, or I have that, and we are talking and we're having that, and we are carrying out the transaction, you still stand a chance, and you're at risk of getting that. So people in the public service who still must give the services that are required badly with the Kenyans, I think government should now come in. The Ministry of Health should come in and insist now they have to protect themselves.
Yes. And the leaders who are supposed to be teaching people are the ones now going to social media insulting the leaders who are trying to give guidelines. So, Miriam, that's why you see even the policeman is confused. You can't enforce anything. I agree with you. These people are exposed. They need to have these things. But then you don't have leaders who are all the time inciting the same people who are being treated. That's why you see I have issued my statement on Moses Kuria. I have no regrets, and anybody who wants to fight me over that, start it. I like controversy. We have it. Let's have it. Even outside the television station, let's have it. I'm ready. You hate, I hate. I am packaged. I did not go to George Soros. I don't beg George Soros. Moses went to George Soros and they paid his hotel bills. Let him say they didn't, and then let's produce evidence. So hiyo vitu ya kutisha watu mwache. So let's move on, ma'am. The same. Let's jump that one and go to.
These are just the situations we've been seeing and the negative
in the situation in Eldoret.
In Eldoret, and of course you saw the residents there over the weekend.
But we have Ekuru Okot.
Yes, and I think we looked at Ekuru Okot yesterday. Yes.
You realize that only the NGOs of George Soros, they are criticizing everything the government is doing. That's another guy of George Soros. He came up with the Panda Muziko or Kuja Muziko, it collapsed. Now he has come to criticize the government again. But out of this criticism, is there anything that the government learns?
I think the government should just continue what it has been doing. I think a lot of Kenyans agree that on this one, the government has really upped its game and has really ensured that Kenyans are protected. And very able CS for health, Mr. Mutahi Kagwe, has really inspired a lot of confidence within Kenyans. So I don't think the government should really be bothered with what Moses Kuria is saying. The government has been doing well since this COVID-19 broke in Kenya, and a lot of Kenyans, a huge percentage of Kenyans have confidence in the government and the measures the government has put in place. And I mean, that is all that matters. So people, of course, when you do something, not everybody will agree with you. There are others who will think perhaps you would have done better, and the others who think you've done zero, and the others who laud you. So that is just part of human nature. But I think the government, I don't think even the government is paying attention to such sidetracking. The government should just continue ensuring that Kenyans are protected and continue giving us the daily updates, and that is what is important, and that is what Kenyans want to hear and want to know. And so with the people who have right now healed from have healed now, they're 3, and that is very encouraging. And so I think that is what really matters. So the rest is just sideshows. I don't think Kenyans even have time to we have better things to worry about.
Okay, Miriam, there is one thing we cannot escape. The Elengoyo Marakwet, Iten. The behavior in Elengoyo in Iten town, which is known for worldwide for producing Olympic champions
for training
and the world champions in athletics. Foreign athletics training, those who were found there, have in the recent weeks been verbally and physically attacked by locals accusing them of being infected with the coronavirus. Surely, Miriam, you say we shouldn't talk about this?
Well, also that also happened in Ethiopia, and the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has been trying to tell Ethiopians, come on now, let's stop attacking the Chinese, let's stop attacking these white people, let's stop attacking these people. And in the villages there, you'd understand, because they're perhaps people are not well informed, perhaps people don't really understand that this athlete is in here, because a lot of athletes from outside the country go to train in it, and it's known to the capacity it has, and the climate there is very good. So a lot of international athletes come and go to train in Itende, which is in Elgeyo Marakwet County. So people from the grassroots there, the villages there, they know this illness came from outside the country. So when right now they see a person that looks like comes from there, because of the lack of knowledge and ignorance also, which plays a huge part in this, they might start fearing. So I saw that also, and it is something that is regrettable. And so that means we still need to do a lot of awareness, especially the local leadership. Yes, it's very bad. So the local leadership and the chiefs and the MPs and the MCs, they need to come out and sensitize people and say, you know what, this is the information, so what you're doing is not right. So I think we still need a lot of awareness to be created in such areas, and indeed in such places, that the same thing is happening. So that is regrettable. It should not be happening.
Surely,
yes.
Surely, Miriam. Spanish conditioning coach Toti Coglan was the first to go public after he was pelted with stones and a cold corona during a run in the town. At least 4 other athletes said they have experienced similar treatment. Look, then we go to Eldoret residents in Langas area in Eldoret on Sunday, 29th March, openly defied nationwide curfew. The residents lamented they had not made up such much plans. Now, if we start like this, coronavirus will end. This will come to an end. You will need to go to these places also.
Yes.
You will need to go to Europe. You will need to go to America.
That's why they go to do the marathons.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's where your athletes from Eldoret and the Marangoy Market and the Rift Valley go to run.
Yes.
So how do you expect? Surely, this bad behavior.
Yes.
No.
Doctor, that is just ignorance from people who perhaps
bad behavior, but it is being instigated. Leaders are watching. You mean the governor of the man in Eldoret? The governor doesn't hear this? Has the governor called these people and told them not? Is the governor not there? Why is it to one area all the time? Why? There must be something wrong. You will need these men from Rift Valley will go and run in Europe. So where will you run? Will they petrol you stones? They get their money from Europe. Show me one where the runners got billions. Show me in Kenya. Why should such a behavior be allowed? If we are not talking it, we must talk about it. If the main television is not talking about it, we are concerned because we need each other and the global world needs each other. After coronavirus, we shall need to fly to Europe. Our so-called champion of champions will need to go to Austria.
Absolutely.
To defend her is champion.
Ineos.
How will he be pelted with stones?
Doctor, what I think needs to be done is because this has been a problem even in especially in Ethiopia. It has been a huge problem that has forced the Prime Minister to address the nation thrice about the same, and I've been doing that story here in our African news. So I think there's a lot of ignorance, especially in the village level, because people don't have the information and people don't really understand because perhaps they don't know. So what needs to be done then is for the leadership in that area to come out and try to sensitize and create awareness and just allay some of these misconceptions that perhaps people have against anybody that is perceived to be coming from. So I think that starting with the chiefs, starting with the local authorities, starting with the members of parliament, the MCAs. They have a responsibility now in Iten and anywhere else in Kenya that foreigners feel like they're being a target right now and being branded as corona carriers, as we've seen even here in Nairobi, the Chinese couple who were attacked by Kenyans a few weeks ago, which is very unfortunate and very shameful. So leaders, therefore, the governor, the senator, the leadership of that area should come out and try sensitizing the people and create awareness.
Don't even mention the word senator, Miriam. The senator himself is on the front line disrupting BBI meetings because he hates Raila Odinga. Can he tell those people not to hate Mazungu? If the senator himself hates Raila Odinga and goes to Raila Odinga's rallies, disrupts them, sits down, walks in as they are talking to take the crowd out, can such a person?
I want to believe perhaps they can, because this is a different, this is not, this is politics aside, this is completely different thing, and it's for the well-being of their own people. So I want to believe they will step up and do the right thing.
My sister, yes. we have a very bad mindset. This disease has brought us together. All of us are locked up in houses. It is sad for us. There's one reader of ours, one very persistent follower, as we wind up, Johnson Hemming. He said, we have been praying for COVID-19 victims to recover. Now that they have some, now we have some who have recovered. Why then again subject them to cyberbullying? Did you want them to die? Would that be your satisfaction? I think we need to change how we handle things in this nation called Kenya.
Very good point. Yeah.
Very good point, Mr. Johnson Hemming. Very good point you have made. You have made a very good point for us. Miriam, on that note, this question should be asked to this man called Moses Kuria. Unaendelea every time to insult the president. Wewe, that president naye hako na watu yake wanampenda. Hata wewe umupendi, wacha na yeye, lakini sisi warafiki zake tuwezi kusikia namna hivyo. Tunasikia ubaya sana bwana. Tunasikia ubaya. Wachana na yeye kama umupendi, lakini usiende kila siku kumpenda, kumdharau. Kama una mdharau, tutakudharau tena kushinda. Na sisi tuko na madharau kubwa sana. Asante sana. Thank you very much, Miriam. For me, it has been a bad day since morning, and I believe you softened it up. Electricity played us up and down in your headquarters. My side was very consistent. From last night, my chairs and everything disorganized me, which you have never said, sorry, pole sana, and I expected a pole sana. I think all in all, it is saying return to the headquarters. But since there is social distancing, I want to thank you very much in your studio. Enjoy the studio. I will continue to break down legs upside down. I hope one of them will not break me while we are My dear sister, I thank you very much. It has been a hot show, very hot. I started on the note so that the message is heard. Then the girl is saying what? We want to know what he said. And we want to read his message, but it's gone. We have done our best, and we shall continue to do our best to make sure that Kenyans hear our message and all our people.
Yes, the doctor.
And somebody says, Kuria is our national Jabba. What national Jabba? Who sleeps in the bar until 8 o'clock? In fact, there is no difference between Kuria and Owino. It's good Kuria's pistol was taken away from him because he could kill anybody. They have the same behavior. When they are drunk, Miriam, they have the same behavior. You see, you are saying something.
All right, maybe you should just...
You were saying something. Say it.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to point a few African news, but I don't know if it's the right time.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Maybe we will look at it later.
Go ahead, the African news,
Yes.
and you finish. Because I can see it was you looking at the clock, not me.
No, me, I'm fine. I'm fine.
We are running out of curfew time.
No, it's okay. Still, we have enough time. We
Yes,
still have enough time.
Don't forget, we need to research for the evening show.
Yes. So something else that came up that was very interesting. A few African countries, of course, have been trying to put in measures to just curb the spread of the COVID-19. And a country like Mauritius, Doctor, they're doing something very interesting. So the people in Mauritius will now, from now on, shop for essentials on allocated days depending on the first letter of their surname as a measure to curb the spread of coronavirus. So Prime Minister Pravind Jugnauth said the measure would avoid overcrowding, adding that the shoppers will only have 30 minutes to finish their shopping. So this means that for those whose surnames begin from A to F will shop on Monday and Thursday. So for the ones whose surnames begin with G and N will shop on Tuesday and Friday, and for the ones whose surnames begin with O to Z, they'll shop on Wednesday and Saturday. The shops will remain closed on Sunday. Doctor, assuming now this happened here in Kenya and say O to Z are supposed to shop on Wednesday and Saturday, and then you go to a place like Kisumu where everybody has a surname that is O, majority of the people there. Is this way effective?
India, where everybody has the name Patel.
I know, and then P's are supposed to shop on Saturday. Are these measures really, really, really effective? I just find it very comical.
Miriam,
Yes.
Corona has just arrived here.
Yes.
We did not expect it. It just landed. I wish we were given enough time. We could have prepared for it.
Yes.
But Corona goes back, reminds us of the ark. If you read the Bible like I do, the ark, when Noah was told to prepare the ark, everybody tried to prepare the ark. But each time the ark, people prepared their own canoes, the water swallowed them. So we are in that scenario. That's why you see most African countries are doing everything possible to try.
Yes.
Maybe the first letter is N, you go N, A, you go first, B, you go second, C. But how long will that take in a country of 1 million or about 7 million people?
Yes.
We don't know.
And you only have 30 minutes to shop during your day to shop. So
so how long you shop throughout the night?
Will this not encourage overcrowding, because all the A's and all the O's will want to go shopping at that particular day? So I don't know if this is effective.
No, but it also depends on the mindset.
Yes.
Miriam, the mindset of the people of Mauritius. Have you ever been to Mauritius?
No, I've not been to Mauritius.
Okay, I have been there. Then can I tell you?
Okay.
It's one of the most beautiful islands.
Yes.
That you should visit.
I will visit Mauritius.
And when you visit, the courtesy of the ladies supplying or giving you breakfast in the morning, you feel like extending your stay in the hotels with a lot of courtesy, a lot of smile. You can see them with their clothes, the big clothes serving you. It is a very good island. The people have a mindset. It's a clean island.
Yes.
Very clean island with very clean beaches and very good hotels. Mauritius. Mauritius is one of the countries in Africa where corruption is zero.
Yes.
You don't pay anybody a bribe. So they have a mindset. That's why they will be disciplined. But in Kenya here, with 42 million, you say start with A. I tell you, the queue could be up to Nakuru.
Yes.
Then you will fail to serve them, it will collapse. That's why the government, in fact, I was talking to a very senior the journalist this morning, before he came on air from Kampala, the journalist told me that the best measures in Africa today are in Kenya, where the government has done bits by bits and allowing people to go.
Yes. He
said most of the African countries, Uganda, for example, people just decided they don't want any trouble with the police. People have decided to close their shops and go home.
Yeah.
Because you are living 20 miles away to come and work. How will you walk 20 miles?
And I think that was the purpose of I think whatever President Museveni wanted to achieve, he has achieved. But in Kenya, I think the government is very considerate.
Yes.
Even in
he said it was one of the best methods that a government, that means the president is very, very intelligent. He had calculated this. He has allowed with his intelligence officials and the Ministry of Health how to use the Public Health Act. You know, some countries have used emergency. You saw so many African countries have declared state of emergency. In so many countries, the president has the power to declare under invoking an executive order and bringing the army on the roads, even during their time. He has the powers, but he hasn't done that. He has allowed us to do everything. You can run these miles in Nairobi and carry every food, come back, water, carry. But you can't do it in Kampala now. We are done, closed. Closed. People have closed. Literally, the streets in Kampala are empty.
Yes, and I think that's why it's very important for Kenyans because the government has been very considerate. So we should just try as much as we can to cooperate with the government so that we are all able to curb the spread of the coronavirus. We have a part to play as Kenyans to ensure that we work with the measures and we work together with the government to ensure that we are safe and we keep other people safe. So yeah, I laud President Uhuru Kenyatta. I think the government has been very considerate in the manner, even the measures. They think about it before they put in these measures and they ensure that the daily lives of Kenyans are not completely disrupted. We just a bit of an adjustment, but very considerate. So that is a very good move. But also he said, if Kenyans don't listen and they continue with how they're doing, a certain section of Kenyans who are not paying attention, then should he find it necessary to put even more punitive measures, then he will not hesitate. He will do that because as a president and as a government, he has the responsibility to protect the country and the people. So if you were not playing your part, Kenyans, and you force the government into putting us in a complete lockdown, so that will be on us because at this point, the government is just trying to do the best it can, and it's been very considerate in them, even in the measures that have been put in place.
Thank you very much, Miriam. Unless you have something else.
No, I'm done.
My
Thank you.
is gone.
Yes.
I started on a higher note. I could hear you laugh at me while I just laugh and say, hey, someone has annoyed the boss. It's true. I was very worked out. I'm very sorry, but I have to do it. Maybe Moses listens to some of us. Surely the belittling of the president is something that has hurt me so much. Even me, who is an opponent of President Museveni, I have never belittled him to that level. I leave it as it is, and I have left.
But Doctor, President Kenyatta has a very thick skin. I'm sure things like this don't even bother him. He has bigger fish to fry.
But for us,
he has a country to run. Yes.
The more it grows, Miriam, the more it creates despondence. Because the Korea statement, what does it lead to? To the state of despondence. To tell the other million Africans and other million Kenyans that the president is a liar. That the president doesn't know his PR. That's what exactly Moses' words are.
Has the president's office responded to these comments?
Well, I don't work for them, I don't know.
I'm just
but
saying.
I have responded as a volunteer, as a friend of the president.
Yes.
And I am his friend.
Yes.
I did not buy that friendship. But therefore, I feel hurt when he's being attacked. So he might be not in a position to answer.
No, he can't, because it's not. He has President Kenyatta and the
My
government.
friends will answer for him.
Yes.
And we are equal to Korea as a measure. Korea is not omnipotent.
Okay.
These guys have taken these people for a ride. They manufacture letters. They say there is assassination. They say there is this. He divided these people. He take rumor from one group to the other group. He said he was in a Lambada hotel. Then he turns around. He said it is true. I was again, but they said this. Look at that. Look at those type of things. What is it? It's meant to do. People need to know what we can do tomorrow when the COVID is over. I liked that woman from the United States. The creation of fear is what is causing America. You know what is killing people in America is the fear. It is not the COVID, it's the fear. Because people are saying, hey, America fails to get the medicine when America has gone to the moon. You get my point? America has gone to the moon. They failed to get the medicine, surely. It's a big fear. And even now, as I talk to you, it is also a fear now. All of us are fearing.
I think what
about those in America?
Like you said there earlier, this is a problem that nobody was prepared for. So every government is just trying its level best to deal with it the best way they know how. So we can just support the measures. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you. Again, abundantly. Keep yourself until we meet tonight. Tonight, I'll leave you to lead the fast, then you sleep first. Because yesterday I waited. I made you wait long.
No, but the show was very good. I was actually watching it. Well, 80s.
You liked it?
The show was very good, and even the people who called in, our viewers who contributed, was very enriching to the show. So I was listening, and 80s.
So I thought it was.
No, it's okay.
I was disturbing you.
No, I'm not complaining. So yeah, I'm not complaining. The show was good, and we enjoyed it, but we did not exhaust the topic. So perhaps we will find another time to look at that situation in Libya. Yes.
We didn't look at Libya.
Yes.
And South Sudan, the troops are not moving because of COVID.
South Sudan,
yes.
They're still on cantonment side.
So why don't we proceed with this topic, the negative mindset and its implications to the fight against COVID? This topic could be better. This time in the evening, other people need to listen to our ideas and call in. For us, we shall not quarrel about it. Can we carry this topic on another?
All right.
The Punch.
Yes.
Stephen, the Punch. The negative mindset and the implications to the fight against COVID-19. What are the effects of a negative mindset? Then we allow callers to come. They will hammer Korea. I believe me or not.
And it will not just be in Kenya. Also, we shall look at other situations.
Other areas.
Remember, the Americans who are blaming Trump.
You can expand. The way we expand to a negative.
Yes.
Negative mindset in Kenya and Africa.
In Africa and yes.
Thank you.
All right.
See you at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Enjoy the curfew.
Well, the curfew is working very well for me, so.
yeah, I can see.
I've been having enough, rest and.
Yeah, I can see enough sleep.
I eat on time, so it's been wonderful because I don't have to go to classes in the evening. Well, I hope things get back to normal, but some of us, I have my online classes now. I do them much later, but you know what? Let's just try to keep safe.
It's very good. Online classes?
Yes, I've been having even my son has online classes. Right now he's at home studying. They're being taught with their teachers, so it's working for those of us who can do it. So we'll see you 8 p.m. later on.
Okay, thank you very much. God bless you. This station is for Africa by Africa with Africa Charm.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.